There's a place in Japan I've dreamed about photographing for years. A place where if the conditions align, a majestic scene appears in front of you. In the foothills of Mount Hakusan, one of Japan's 3 sacred peaks, alongside Fuji and Tateyama, lies the Echizen Ono Basin in Fukui Prefecture. And within the Ono Basin lies a small isolated mountain called Kameyama, a turtle-shaped peak with a castle perched on top. But on most days, this is all you'll ever see. But under the right conditions, something amazing happens. You see, there's a Japanese word called Unkai, which specifically translates to sea of clouds. It's a rare phenomenon which only occurs when specific conditions collide. You need warm, moist air the day before, ideally it would have rained. A rapid temperature drop overnight of around about 10 degrees, clear skies at dawn, and almost zero wind. So when you get Unkai in the Echizen Ono Basin, it creates a dramatic scene of a floating castle that looks like this. After weeks of obsessively checking the weather, one night everything finally lined up. I packed my camera bag and I hit the road. This place is completely snowed over. As I headed deeper into the snowy Ono Basin, I still hadn't found a place to sleep, so I headed into the closest car park I could find. Okay, so as you can clearly see, I am surrounded by snow now. I really was not expecting to see that Fukui was just so cold and already hit with snow. I mean, it's only the first week into December and this place is literally already covered. But it is interesting to see how that there is fog even now, just at 10 p.m. at night. I mean, it was just really difficult even just to see the roads. So I really am pretty hopeful for the Unkai tomorrow morning. I'm currently parked at just some car park pretty much, and I'm going to drive a little bit closer towards the trailhead for the viewpoint to see the castle. But yeah, for now I am just pretty cold and I'm going to go to bed and wake up early for a sunrise mission to get that awesome Unkai shot. But yeah, let's get inside. Gonna get that heater on. Oh, I'm freezing. So I am now heading over to the car park where I'm going to drop the car and then I'm going to make my way up to the viewpoint and see what we get. As I pulled into the car park below the viewpoint, I immediately realised that I was not alone. I didn't waste any time. If I wanted a clear view, I had to move fast, so my journey up the mountain began. By the time I reached the top, more than a dozen photographers were already locked into position. Luckily, I found a small opening, and as blue hour arrived, the castle began to float above the clouds. As the sun rose, the Unkai began to fade. After 2 hours of standing still and freezing cold, the exhaustion finally caught up with me. I had to get off the mountain.
Okay, so feeling a lot better now. I think I just needed to do some exercise just to get the blood flowing again, because standing still for 2 hours plus in -2 degrees, it's not going to make you feel very good, especially if you're fasting like I am. So my plan now is to go head back to the van, warm up, and then I think I'll go get some other compositions of the castle just around the town, see if I can frame it with some snow on the trees, because we're in this beautiful mountainous place, as you can see. But yeah, my plan is to go get a warm coffee and some food as soon as possible.
So as I go grab coffee, let me tell you a little bit about this place. Echizen Ono Castle was originally built in the late 1500s during Japan's Sengoku period, an era defined by constant war and shifting power. Unlike Japan's massive coastal castles, this one was constructed inland in a remote basin as a strategic lookout over trade routes and surrounding valleys. The original castle was dismantled in the 1600s after the Tokugawa shogunate brought peace to Japan, and for centuries all that remained was the mountain itself. What you see today is a faithful reconstruction rebuilt in 1968, not as a symbol of power, but as a reminder of how deeply Japan's history is tied to its landscape. And on most mornings, it's just that, a quiet castle on a hill, waiting for the right conditions. Okay, so we are back home in Shiga. It is a little bit warmer, not as snowy here as it is in Fukui. But yeah, I think that I got one of my favourite photos that I've ever gotten. I mean, the fog surrounding the castle, the conditions were just absolutely perfect. It's a shame that the Unkai kind of died out as the sun started to rise, but I cannot complain about the shot that I got here. I just ordered a large A1 size print, which I'm going to be putting on the wall right here, so I'm super stoked and excited to see that for when that comes. So if you are new around here, please like and subscribe, and of course, as always, I will catch you in the next video.